Hi, I'm Nicholas Delaney, and I'm with the University of Texas at San Antonio, and I'm studying public administration. I'm also involved in student government and other extracurriculars around campus. Today we're going to focus on ways to be engaged with our community during a pandemic. This was part of our civic leadership course with the public administration program at UTSA. Some of our classmates came up with these ideas. Let's explore some of these ways to be engaged. First thing we want to explore in terms of being engaged with our community is using virtual meetings and virtual software to be engaged, such as Zoom, Google Hangouts, and other video platforms. Hopefully using Zoom beyond just the classroom and using it to engage with other members in the community or in your organizations in order to keep processes going. The next way to be engaged during a pandemic is to find a way to connect with others. This can be achieved with many different ways, but as long as it's practiced safely. One example would be connecting with elders. Some elders don't have the opportunity, in fact mostly all of them don't have the opportunity to meet members of the community or student groups to come visit them, and which brings up some of their enjoyment. So some safe ways or safe alternatives to still engage with elders is writing a letter to a nursing home, setting up a virtual message with a nursing home to elders. Also connecting with younger students or younger people in the community that may be a different classification before you. This can be involved in school and academics, outreaching to them to help them study or tutor or get involved in school campuses or school activities or promote higher education. It could also be outreaching to foster students or foster youth that may be part of a foster shelter that may be younger than you, in which you can outreach in terms of being a friend or someone to outreach to them for promotion or inspiration for education or social advocacy. Another thing you can look at is engaging with new people that maybe you have met in a classroom or an extracurricular activity or a community group in which you share the same interests and goals. Having these type of new connections can help you in the future or maybe now with civic engagement and starting new ideas, goals, or movements. The next thing to focus on in terms of being engaged is to connect in virtual community meetings. So things that you may want to explore are, what is happening in your local government? Is there any city council meetings that are open to the public? Is there any issues in your community that you want to tackle? Is there a group of people that share that same interest? Can you go to these meetings? Are they open to the public? Where are they hosted? On Zoom? On Google Chats? Challenge yourself to get involved in community issues or community movements virtually, whether it's through city council, through a nonprofit organization, or through another department within city government. You can also look at community groups. Is there any new groups that you would like to join? Is there an interest group in your community that you would like to be a part of? Could this be a sports group, a religious group, or a special topics group? The next piece of advice that we can give you in terms of being engaged is to utilize social media. Social media uses for civic engagement can also be beneficial to being engaged. You can use it to find new events, to find new type of groups, or to find issues that are being expressed online in your communities that you might want to take a leadership action on. You can also outreach to new members if you are already a part of an organization or a leader of an organization. Social media can be used to connect and find new ways to explore new topics and find new ways to add membership to your groups. You can also share news and important topics from your organization through social media. It's a great way to connect. For this next topic, you can definitely still volunteer and get out into the community, but you do need to practice it safely. So for this piece of advice, we recommend that if you do want to volunteer in person within the community, to follow all safety guidelines and regulations. You can consider volunteering at food banks, volunteering for phone banking for candidates if you're into being involved in elections. You can also do socially distanced type of volunteering within your local community, such as fostering or benefiting community gardens in your local residencies. These are just some examples of being involved in the community, still physically, but making sure that any type of volunteer service you want to get involved in has strict and safe and proper protocols for safety guidelines. Call ahead of time and see what are the processes and procedures that event or service has administered for that time. Make sure it's safe and be responsible. And for the last topic, in terms of being engaged during a pandemic, is to build stronger groups and explore leadership opportunities. Practice civic leadership by starting a new organization, or participate in a new group and maybe even run for a leadership role. This can be a really great civic leadership or civic engagement opportunity that can foster community engagement. You can also engage with other groups, engage with new groups, and plan new goals and agendas during this time. And one last thing to consider when focusing on engaging with communities and being a part of these new groups or taking on new leadership roles is to focus on retention. So go ahead and have fun and focus on socialization when you can. Explore new virtual ways to engage, such as video games or virtual environments, and look at new services that are offered to engage or socialize. Having retention events or socialization opportunities helps promote retention within the organization group, and this can be beneficial when being in a new leadership role or being part of a group. If you like what you heard, consider joining our public administration program at UTSA when it's time for you to go into college, and also check out some of our amazing curriculums and programs at utsa.edu. Birds up, have a great time, be safe.